Alright, welcome to SilverC Review. It might look a little weird in this one. I tried doing the video while bending down there, but I was having to yell so much. I got to coughing and couldn't do it. Allergies, man. I can't wait for summertime. Can't wait. Like, I can't deal with crap in my throat. Like, I can handle sneezing and runny nose, but this crap in my throat just drives me nuts. So, anyways, I'm trying to stay in frame here. We'll see if I can lunge for like 20 minutes. This will be like a P90X video while I'm also doing a review. Anyways, hopefully you can still see the water and stuff behind me. If you watched my last video, you'll notice that this is being filmed on the same day, and it's cold. Wasn't expecting it to be this cold, and it's raining. This time I've got a umbrella above my camera, but the umbrella is just my external flash umbrella, so I don't think it's supposed to get wet. It's not that kind, but it's working for now, so we'll see how it goes. And hopefully I'm in focus. On all the tests I was not in focus, but if I'm not, then oh well, at least you'll have some cool water in focus. I don't know how to change the focus on the camera, it's all automatic. So anyways, I got the audio boosted on both the video portion and the podcast MP3 portion last time, so I'm just going to assume I'm always going to boost it at those levels, and I'll just assume that it's good until I receive feedback. I haven't heard feedback at all from any of it, so if you need anything done with the audio, let me know, and I can try to fix it. Otherwise, this is how it's always going to be. I discussed doing more than one video in one of my other podcasts, and I decided against that. More than one a week. And as it warms up, which is not right now, last few days were warm, that's why I thought today was going to be warm, but as it warms up, the my weekends start filling up really quick. I do a manual labor side job on the weekends, and I also do freelance photography, so I'm doing weddings and stuff, and I'm trying to start up a kayaking business, taking people out for the first time, and then on top of all that, I still hang out with friends and play video games, and go on kayaking trips of my own, and go on hiking trips, and do a lot of stuff once it gets warm. Take motorcycle trips, so as you can see, my weekends fill up rather quickly, and I lose a big portion of time during the weekend. So I'm left to just recording these on like weekdays and then editing on weekdays. So yeah, I'm definitely going to stick to just one a week. I don't know, I watch a lot of YouTubers that play Pokemon Go, and many of them are in LA, and I don't know how they keep concentration with all those people around them. Like, maybe it's just a skill that you develop, but like, if I hear a sound, I quiet down, I look around and figure out what it is, or definitely if I hear people and stuff like that, I like completely stop talking. And they're out in public constantly, so I admire them very much for that. My head's gonna be cut off like this whole time. Yeah, I'll switch legs, maybe I can get a little bit lower. As long as I don't like fall off. I've got like about a 12-foot drop behind me, and it's just rocks, so it would not be pleasant. I kind of wanted this angle because you can see the water coming down. I thought it would be cool. I'm doing more than one in a day because of all the rain. Like, we got a ton of rain. Usually this is just like a trickle. Like, it's got the rock face, you can just see water like streaming down it. Not very much at all. And I thought it looked cool with a whole bunch of water, and that's why I wanted to do the other one as well today. And I also kind of wanted to test doing more than one a day to see how it works out, so that way when I go places, I'll, like, if it's an hour and a half away, I want to film several of them, so that way I don't have to go there multiple times. So we're going to test it out and see how it works. And it's raining on me right now, and it's cold, so you might be able to hear that in my voice. But we're going to go over some movies I watched recently that I'm not necessarily reviewing. 50 Shades Freed, give that one a 1 out of 10. I wasn't expecting much. I had heard that they were trying to make a movie series worse than Twilight, and I think they did it. But no, I'm not a huge hater of Twilight. They're alright movies. I actually do have one of them in my collection, Breaking Dawn Part 2, simply because the vampire fight scene where they're all ripping off each other's heads and stuff was awesome. So I was willing to keep that one. That's the only one. Star Trek Beyond, give that one a 7 out of 10. I like the new Star Trek movies. I had already seen this one. I actually rewatched it recently, and just so I could give it a review, and just because I wanted something to watch. And I had not apparently watched Maze Runner: The Scorched Trials. I thought I had. I'd seen bits and pieces of it, but apparently I had not watched the entire movie. So I rewatched that, and I give it a 5 out of 10. See? Hear stuff. Look around. It was good for what it is, being just a general action movie. But anyways, let's talk about Maze Runner: The Death Cure. I'm going to have it right here. I feel like I'm blocking the water a little bit. Maybe when I switch legs again, because I'll have to switch again. So anyways, I give this one a 4 out of 10. Spoiler warning, if you have not seen this movie, I'm not going to hold anything back, so feel free to skip this until you've seen the movie. It's got a good action intro, kind of picking up where the other one left off. Not exactly where it left off, but pretty close. I don't know how in the world they walked around on that train car when it was flying through the air. Like, if that was me, I would be glued to the top of it. Like, I wouldn't be too worried about being on top of it, but there's no way I could stand up and just like walk around like it was nothing. It did seem kind of weird how badly he wanted to rescue his friends compared to like trying to stop them. I mean, I know he formed very close bonds with them, but it just seemed weird how those were the only people he seemed to care about. But, I mean, I guess he did finally switch over and decide to go after revenge. I wonder if this is going to be like in and out of focus the entire time, as I'm in and out of frame. I'm starting to figure out that action movies are not the easiest to review because there's not a whole lot to say about them. It's like, oh, that was some nice action over there, and this part's got some good action in it, and oh, this is still same action, just kind of furthers a simple plot line. So I may have to choose movies to review wisely from now on. But anyways, I was confused about their safe zones. I actually had to stop this recording and redo it because I got to coughing. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Who are in the safe zones? Like, are they immune? I mean, the way they describe the people that start out with the virus, like, do the people in the safe zones just not get the virus, or I don't know. I don't know if it explained that at some point and I missed it, but it seemed really weird that they had these big cities. And at one point she said, I don't know how many safe zones there are, but at one point she said the cure would save, like, well, she was trying to defend them making the cure, and she said, what, your cities are going to save like 1,000 or 2,000? I mean, that city looked like the size of New York, so I feel like there's at least 1 million people there. So I thought her numbers were a little off, but it was good to see that Crazy Eyebrows made another appearance, that he's back. I thought it was kind of neat how this whole movie, or at least definitely this part of the movie, or this part of the series, is kind of like a mass extinction trolley event. Like, hopefully everyone knows about the trolley problem. If not, look it up. And I guess I can tell you about it. It's real simple. You have 5 people on one track and 1 person on another track, and this little trolley car is heading towards the 1 person, and you have a lever, or it's heading towards the 5 people. And you have the lever to where you can change the track to where it goes to the 1 person instead of the 5 people. So even though this 1 person is not necessarily involved, you're saving 5 people by killing him, him or her. And that's kind of what this is they're trying to kill people to make the cure. And I really don't know what side I'm on. Like, I feel like if they were nicer about the way that they were trying to find the cure, I would definitely be on their side. But just simply because they're mean about it, I don't know. I mean, I know there's better ways to go about it, but at the same time, just trying to fight back and kill the people trying to find the cure. I mean, they are trying to do their thing, so it's an interesting problem. But, oh, these movies remind me a lot of the Divergent movies, which I can't remember if there were like 2 or 3 in that series, but I don't know, very similar. Oh, did I miss the reason why the kids are not actually immune? Like, I thought the whole point of putting them in those trials was because they were immune, and one by one they keep catching the disease and actually turning into the infected people. So I don't know if they explain that at some point or what. I don't know if you can actually hear it, but I'm trying to do the Wilhelm scream because it's in this movie as well. But anyways, I decided from now on that I'm always just going to any movie that I hear that has the Wilhelm scream. Throughout my video, hopefully I'll be in places that are a little bit quieter, I guess, but throughout my video, I'm just going to randomly do the Wilhelm scream and not say anything about it. So if you hear it in the video, unless you've seen this video, you'll probably not have any clue why it's there, but it's because it's in the movie that I'm reviewing. Yeah, it was definitely in this movie. They had a very classic, you missed me, and then he's like, oh, did I? And hits the glass behind him, and they've done that in how many movies. But I couldn't really see Teresa as being good. Even towards the end, I mean, I know she helped him, but the way she went about things, she got a lot of people killed by betraying him. And, I mean, I understand where she's coming from and why she's wanting to find the cure so bad, but I don't know. I just didn't like the way she went about things. And she definitely didn't have to die at the end. That was so stupid. I mean, the best thing to do if you really are, like I've talked about it a million times, is actions. Like, change the way you are and repent. Repent! Yeah, don't just die. I mean, keep trying to find the cure in a good way. Like, she already has the cure. Just keep, if anything else, find a way to get it out to people. It was just such a stupid way to die. And, I mean, that whole scene really drove me nuts. Like, it seemed like they were just stalling. Like, the entire time they were stalling to build anticipation, and it looked so stupid. And, like, why did she let him down? Like, she's got him up there, and they kind of pull away, and she just, like, lets go of him as he's trying to reach up there by himself, and then she picks him back up, and that's what gives him enough to be able to get in there. It's like, why did you let go of him the first time? Like, it's not like you were like weak or anything. And then her trying to be all dramatic and watching the tower that they already knew was falling. I hated that last part. I know it wasn't the very end of the movie, but that little scene drove me nuts. Oh, those people, everyone on that island apparently can write better with a chisel than I can with a pen. I mean, their penmanship was incredible on that rock. I don't know if you've ever tried to chisel something or like carve something, but unless you do it a lot, it's really hard to do. Like, I rarely do it, and when I do, I have to do straight lines, and it's like terrible. And their writing on that rock was perfect. I was impressed. Yeah, I didn't really like the ending either. I mean, that really wasn't their goal. I know throughout the series that was kind of their goal, but it changed whenever they found out that, or when, I guess when they decided to try to stop Wicked. But I feel like them being on the island was just a waste, and all the people that died getting them there, I mean, they just gotta live out their life there. And also, it left some things unanswered. Like, does he know that he's the cure? I know he still had the cure in his hands, but does he know that that's made straight from his blood. I know she said a couple things, like the girl that he injected shouldn't be alive, or shouldn't be sane or not turned or whatever, but that seemed weird. And if he does know, then that's kind of selfish of him to just stay on the island and get old and die, and then the cure, I guess, goes away with him unless he has kids or something. I don't know, that's weird. But it seemed strange that he wouldn't try to go save people and try to invent some way. And is Wicked gone now? Like, just because those two people are dead, is there no one else in the company that's gonna rise up and take their place and keep trying to find the cure? Is there only like one scientist out there, or technically two, but they both died? It seems not a very satisfying ending, and I don't know, maybe they'll make another movie and it'll be better because they actually, maybe, yeah, they could make a fourth movie and they could go back to Wicked, and maybe there's a few people who try to take over and they can take them out and they can disperse the cure and everything will be great. But I didn't feel like at the end of this movie everything was great. Like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like a victory to me. But that's it for Maze Runner: The Death Cure. So we are going to go into my recommendation. Hopefully I'm in the frame. Kiki's Delivery Service. This is a 1989 anime, Japanese animation movie, and it's made by my favorite movie production company, Studio Ghibli. And we're gonna kind of ease into the anime recommendations, space them out. I could go on forever about anime. I feel like this one's got a good general feel to it. It's not too anime for most people. And me personally, I feel like emotions and messages can be expressed a lot better in animation than it can be by actors. I really, really hate the stigma of, oh, it's a cartoon, so I shouldn't be watching it. I can't stand it when people say, when they talk about good cartoon movies like Moana and, crap, what was the other one? Oh man, I've gone completely blank. There was another Japanese animation movie. I know Moana's not Japanese animation, but there was one recently. I've just gone blank. But anyways, it was actually talked about in a good light. A lot of people, when they talk about those movies, they're like, oh, well, I have kids, so I saw it, or something to the effect that it's like a stigma that adults can't watch cartoons anymore. And I mean, they still have just as good messages, if anything, even better messages about being kind to other people, and they still convey emotion and everything. So it's not, if you're an adult, you can see cartoon movies, you can do whatever you want, but it's not a bad thing to see a cartoon movie. I mean, I go to theaters and watch cartoon movies all the time. I'm not afraid of that stigma, and I wish people would just drop it. Like, who cares? Who cares what you're watching? Just say that you watched it and you liked it. Talk about what was in the movie. But anyways, that's my rant about that. And I saw a quote one time that said you can gain insight from any source. And I mean, that's true, just because it can even be your enemy. Like, maybe someone on the opposite political party, you can still gain insight from that. You can still gain wisdom from someone you don't believe in, don't trust. I mean, they can still have a different point of view that can change the way you look at things. So don't just write off things, especially cartoons, without giving it a chance. And anything is like that in life. Like, if you just listen, there's insight and wisdom all around. So, sorry, it's so cold, my notes are The description for this one is 13-year-old Kiki moves to a seaside town with her talking cat Gigi to spend a year alone in accordance with her village's tradition for witches in training. Kiki sets up a flying courier service and soon becomes a fixture in her community. And it's just, I mean, that's it. It's a really neat movie. She's a witch and she goes to a little town and she makes friends, and then she it's kind of like I guess a coming of age for a witch. Like she experiences different things, but it's really good, and it shows her growing up and like the process of growing up, and it shows her learning new things and overcoming struggles, and it's got it talks about friendship and caring, and it's got a lot of good messages, and it's a really feel-good movie. And I mean, if you like this one, you should check out all the other Studio Ghibli movies. There are several others that I'm going to recommend later on, but the whole line of them is really good. There are some of them that they go a little far out there, but for the most part, especially their newer ones, they are excellent. Highly recommend. Like I said, favorite movie production company, followed by Marvel right now. So anyways, we're gonna go into our jokes and quotes section. Why did the Scarecrow get promoted? Because he was outstanding in his field. I saw a kidnapping at the mall the other day, but I decided not to wake him. Hey! And the quotes, first one's going to be, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And this one's tricky. I mean, it's definitely true, but there's a lot of people out there, and this, I don't know how to say it. Everyone, I guess, has things that set them off. For a lot of people, it's pedophiles. Like, I'm not saying that I approve of them. It just doesn't set me off like it does a lot of people. Like, most people just want to kill them, like just stab them to death or something. And I mean, I want to see them locked up and for them to never see the light of day, but I don't have the rage that a lot of people do against something like that. It's not just that. I mean, like I said, everyone has something that sets them off. For me, it's people that can make other people feel like they don't deserve either happiness or to be loved. And those are the kind of people that I just want to tear apart. Because they're out there all over. People that can play mind games and that can destroy people to the point to where they literally feel like they don't deserve to be loved and they don't deserve happiness. And every single person in the world deserves happiness and deserves to be loved. And that's where this quote comes in. It's not, I'm not saying the blame is on the person that's feeling that way, but I am saying the person has a lot more power than they think they have. I mean, the way you're feeling a lot of times is in your mind, and if you just decide not to feel that way, that's the end of it. These other people don't literally have power over you, and so you can turn around and change at any point. I mean, I can't even imagine. I don't have any experience with this. I've never been depressed. I've gone through dark periods of my life, but not anything compared to what a lot of people experience. My life has been very easy, and I've not had many struggles. Like, I mean, financially, I'm definitely not up there, but I've always found a way to be happy. And that's still it. I just wish I knew how to help people sometimes that aren't feeling that way. But I'm here to tell you, you have a ton of power. So, the next quote is, worrying does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow, it empties today of its strength. And, wish I could get this one through my mom's head, but she said that's a mom and grandma thing, is to always worry. But, it just doesn't do any good. I mean, do what you can, and then forget about it. Like, there's no point in sitting around and dwelling on something. I mean, if thinking about something for a long time will help you, like maybe gain new insight or something, then sure. But if it's something negative and you're just constantly thinking about it and you can't do anything about it, there's no reason to be thinking about it. I mean, that's one thing I definitely do in life is if I can't do anything about it, I let it go. I mean, there's no point to it. And I mean, she's constantly worried about something. I'm like, and it's stressful. Like, not to me, I don't have hardly any stress in my life, but for her, like, it's stressful to the point where it physically hurts her sometimes. And like, you've done everything you can do. You can't keep going on, but can't keep worrying about it and dwelling on it. You just have to let it go. I mean, like the quote says, like, all it does is destroy today, and that's all we have. We're not promised tomorrow, so you have to make today the best you can. And that's another thing, why worry about it when you don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow? You can't tell the future. The only way to tell the future is to experience it, so don't worry about it. Just live in the moment, and I feel like I've said like 10 quotes in this stupid little section, but yeah, that's all I've got for this. And I don't know why I feel like I need to explain all these quotes, but I don't know. Anyways, the next movie is going to be Dunkirk, and it was actually surprisingly really good. So if you want to check out, I've got the links below somewhere in the description to my YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and my podcast. So depending on where you are consuming this material, but definitely check out my Flickr. It's SilverC_review. I got some really cool pictures up there. I'm putting one up a day, so check it out. Take care.